President Donald J. Trump is crushing late-night TV, and not for a reason you probably would imagine. Folks, we're here to tell you that Colbert and Kimmel cannot keep up. By the time they get started recording to the time their episodes go to air, everything has changed and their monologues are out of date. Expired, you say? Yes, and that's just the way late night may be going entirely. We'll explain right now. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we as ever endeavor to explain entertainment. And in doing so, we keep you ahead of the culture curve. That is the value add that we attempt to achieve every single video. And every single video is, yes, excellence indeed. Why? Not because of hubris, folks, but because you are here with us. Click that like button. We'll dive in and explain why the networks are getting nasty with their late night comedy. In Tribalism and Politics is our Twitter account who's shouting out what's going down. And I just want you to see how vile it's getting. It says Jimmy Kimmel, who, by the way, is ABC, which, by the way, is Disney. Jimmy Kimmel, Mr. Late Night Disney himself, just mocked RFK Jr. for his neurological disorder, spasmodic dysphonia, and then went after his wife, Cheryl Hines. Now, I want to show you the clip of this. And then I'm going to tell you why Jimmy Kimmel and Disney are resorting to such low blows, now outright mocking people for disability. Now, panel, I don't know if you all remember this, but I thought that it was off limits to mock people for disabilities, and I thought that we even had a few hoaxes along the way where they tried to make sure that you thought people mocked disability even when they did not. But I thought you couldn't touch the disability thing, not for humor certainly, and frankly, I think it's a good thing. Let's play it so you can see what Jimmy Kimmel has stooped down to, and then we'll get some commentary. And I'll tell you why they're having to do it this time.
The hearing was rocky, to say the least. And not just because it sounds like he swallowed a bag of rocks. Kennedy was accompanied by his wife, the actress Cheryl Hines, who sat quietly behind her husband as he attempted to rewrite the story of his life.
Did you say that exposure to pesticides causes children to become transgender?
No, I never said that.
Did you write?
Now, what they do here is they quickly, and we'll quiet it and just play it in the background. What they do is they snip down RFK so that he only responds in 2-second snippets for the purpose of comedy and for, well, misleading. And then they go back to the next question, which makes him sound like a doofus. I don't care about that, okay? It's late night TV, whatever. I don't go there to get my news. What I do care about is, seems to me that it was supposed to be off limits that you couldn't say that this man sounds like he swallowed a bag of gravel or rocks because he has a disability. Now, going after somebody's wife, that's dirty. We know that, right? But the disability thing, I think, is even worse. And so Jimmy Kimmel has to do that. It's now what they're forced to do. We'll explain why, because we're going to go to the Rolling Stone in just a minute. But before we do, I want to go to the panel and ask, panel, what did I miss? When did it become okay to mock disabilities? Did I miss something in our culture?
No, it's okay it's okay when they do it. That's all it is. It's okay when they do it. When they mock you, when they throw low blows, oh, it's perfectly fine. It's all within the realm of comedy. But, if we try to do it or somebody on the other side tries to do it, oh, that's off limits. You're terrible, horrible people. Okay. It's just, once again, double standards. We're used to it by now. At least I am. It's like, this is always the way that it is, man.
Derek, they ran with this thing about Trump back in, this would be 2015, maybe? That he had mocked somebody with a disability, and they did a lot of video splicing and stuff to make that seem like it was true. Now they're just out there. They're just like, hey, you got a disability, you got a stutter. Remember, Lorena, we couldn't talk about Joe Biden. Sharp has attacked President Biden and his stutter.
Yeah.
Suddenly appeared after never having had a stutter before. You couldn't talk about a stutter, and here's Mr. Disney Late Night, the guy representing the Walt Disney Company, family company, out there saying that it sounds like RFK swallowed a bag of rocks.
It's just really disgusting. And frankly, as a parent of someone with a special needs child, this really makes me angry. The whole thing with Trump, they spliced that. It had nothing whatsoever to do with mocking someone with a disability, but everything to do with mocking just how stupid the mainstream press was, but they didn't want you to see that. So now you have Jimmy Kimmel making fun of, I mean, he does have that speaking disorder. And when I heard it, I'm like, oh, he must have some kind of disorder going on, because you could tell his mind was extremely sharp, but the words weren't really coming out that well. I've noticed that with a lot of kids like mine who are on the spectrum. They're very smart, but how the words come out isn't exactly right. But most rational people are just like, yeah, we'll just wait so we can hear what it is that that you have to say. And it's funny that Disney is allowing this to happen, considering how awful they've made their disability access pass their parks.
Maybe
Anyone think of that?
Yeah, that is a complete mess too. We've been covering that on that park place, and that's one of the few things that I will say both sides of the aisle are coming together to say Disney screwed that one up.
Maybe Jimmy Kimmel is running DAS. That's a deep theme park issue. All right, one more time, folks, in case you missed it. Here's what Kimmel had to say.
The hearing was rocky, to say the least, and not just because it sounds like he swallowed a bag of rocks.
Again, let's mock. Here we go. This is Disney. This is Disney's guy of late night.
The hearing was rocky, to say the least, and not just because it sounds like he swallowed a bag of rocks.
All right, well, let's go to why they're having to do this real quick, and then we'll get more of the panel in. Folks, take a look. It's out of Rolling Stone. It says, late night hosts take aim at Trump's tariffs. So many stupidly bad things. It says, no American wakes up saying, darn Canada, we should really go after Canada. I mean, except Kendrick Lamar. This is by Emily Zimler. And Emily doesn't know what we're going to use this article for, but by golly, we're going to use it to tell the truth. Get ready. Rolling Stone has never seen such a thing happen to them before. President Donald Trump announced a series of tariffs over the weekend, resulting in a potential trade war between the U.S. and countries like China, Mexico, and Canada. Although several of the tariffs, including with Mexico, have been delayed, late-night TV hosts still had a lot to say on the matter. There's just one thing that's the matter. By the time the late-night TV episodes made it to air, they were already late. They were complaining and mocking about a tariff war that was already over. Trump had won. Canada and Mexico had acquiesced, agreed to do whatever he wanted, essentially with a 30-day pause on the tariffs. And yet there were the ridiculous, dumb late-night comics of Kimmel and Colbert declaring that Trump was getting us into a situation that Americans could not bear. Folks, take a look out of the Wrap from Josh Dickey. Late show audience boos rain down as Stephen Colbert lists Trump's barrage of executive orders. We'll get into this in just a minute, but I want to say it is fun watching how quickly things are happening in government, that they record the late night shows in the day and then they play them in the evenings. By the time they get to the airing of the late night show, they're already being proven wrong, but they can't go back and fix them. You see what I'm saying about this? And the executive orders, like they can't keep up with them. So literally late night now has turned into read the executive order and a little sign pops up above the audience telling them to boo. This is why they're making fun of RFK. This is why they're getting desperate, is because they can't stay relevant. They can't stay fresh because it's not a 24-hour news cycle right now. It's like a 4-hour news cycle. Oh, so yeah. The late night hosts come out sounding like idiots. Panel?
It's awesome, isn't it? They're behind. They're already behind. They're old news before they even get going. Isn't that great? It's like they're not. That's the thing about mainstream media. New media is more dynamic, able to adjust on the fly. You know, we can come out with like articles. We can, drop something on a video. We can go fast, and they are like dinosaurs, like walking through mud. And they're still doing things the old-fashioned way, like you used to do maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and you just can't stay up with the times. New media is here, and that's the biggest takeaway, in my opinion, from this, is that late night can't keep up with us. They cannot keep up where we are right now. It's so exciting, man. I'm laughing at this, bro, because this shows you exactly where these guys are. It is so funny, man. It is so funny. These guys cannot keep up with us.
Well, bro, I'm trying to figure out how them sounding like idiots now is any different than they have for the last several years. I mean, I just think they sound like maybe bigger idiots now.
Well, here's I guess what the difference is. They're inclined. the way the system works is, say the Grammys come out, okay? So the Grammys come out and Kanye West has his wife be naked. And he looks like the biggest idiot on the planet. Kanye West just looks like a vulgar, awful, terrible husband, terrible man, and maybe cancels himself. Okay. So the comics get to make fun of that in the 24-hour news cycle. That's what they're set up to do. They're set up to make fun of something that happened earlier in the day. But when things change hour to hour, they cannot power through and get something ready to go at night. They're going to have to do this live. And the writers are going to have to stay there. If they want to cover Trump, they're literally going to have to do it. As Bill O'Reilly said, Jonas, do it live.
And it's a good point that you make, because the news cycle used to be, just the next day, 24 hours, the next day, you would get news. No, but with new media, Jimmy Kimmel could do something stupid like this, and immediately after he does it, you have, I don't know how many people on YouTube and TikTok making shorts, clowning this guy, getting the most recent information that makes them look even dumber. Hollywood has this idea that they don't have competition, but they do. And it's hilarious watching them fail because they're so ignorant. They can't tell that the emperor has no clothes.
That's a really good point, Lorena.
Just Kanye's wife.
There was a great video from Disparu talking about that Hollywood has gotten in this place where they don't understand that they have competition now. When we look at YouTube, I mean, we've covered this so many times on this channel specifically to say that YouTube is outclassing even the Disney company just on televisions on some months. And that's not counting mobile viewing. That's not counting desktop viewing. So YouTube has more influence over this entire situation. But Jimmy Kimmel still wants to get out there and try to do this thing where he's telling jokes, but the joke is in a way that also communicates information that is false about the current political state of America, which is, I guess that's the new propaganda tool in a post-Jon Stewart world.
So late night and everybody else in the legacy media, they thought that this tariff war was going to go on for weeks, right? And that was going to generate all kinds of material. In reality, it lasted all of 4 hours. So by the time that the late night comics and their writers had been out there mocking how bad this was going to be, in between the time they recorded and in the time that it went to air for the public, the tariff war was over. So these people were making jokes about how stupid Trump is. Meanwhile, Trump had won, and then they came on, oh my gosh, it's bad. We'll play it again, folks. Here's Kimmel talking about the tariff war.
Donald Trump's been president for 2 weeks as of today. I know, right? All hell has broken loose in almost every possible way. On Saturday, he issued those 25% tariffs on goods imported from Canada and Mexico. Then today he unissued the tariffs. He decided to hold them for a month. I guess he must have seen the guacamole bill for his Super Bowl party. Why Trump is squeezing our closest allies, no one knows, but this is how it's going over up north.
Now think about that. Nobody knows. Kimmel, who is he is the king clown jester of Disney's personalities. Not only does he mock RFK, as we've just shown you, but he also acts as if he doesn't understand why it is we've got to get this border secure on both sides. And it has to do with the number of people who are perishing due to illicit materials coming across the border that then poison and destroy the lives of American citizens all over the country. Kimmel doesn't understand it, though. Kimmel just doesn't get it. And, of course, by the time they record these things, they've got a few hours. Trump does something else, something changes, and then they're out of date by the time they come to air. All right, let me show you when it comes to Colbert, though, right? And the sad thing about Colbert is CBS, I just can't imagine that you have time to tango with us. Seems like you've got bigger fish to fry right now. We'll get into that story in just a moment. CBS could be going under. But still, they won't let us play Colbert. We play Colbert, we get in big trouble, and stream No Showy no more. So we're not going to do it. But over here on the wrap that we previewed just a minute ago, late show audience boos rain down as Stephen Colbert lists Trump's barrage of executive orders. Now, it's got the video in here, but we're not going to play the video. Here's what we've got. Let me read the paragraph here. This is Colbert reading his monologue to the audience. And of course, they've got a thing over the top of the audience that says boo, cheer, applause. Over the weekend, Trump and his people gave Elon Musk access to the Treasury's payment system. Boo. Prepared to shut down U.S. aid. Boo. By the way, when they say prepared to shut down U.S. aid, they're talking about USAID, which is a giant slush fund, one of the most corrupt things on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Threatened to take back the Panama Canal. And you got to think the audience was like, wait a minute, we kind of like that. Oh, sign says boo. Boo. Fired DOJ prosecutors who worked on J6. Boo. Had the Pentagon kick out the New York Times, NBC, and NPR in favor of the New York Post, Breitbart, and One American News. By the way, they left out. This is so funny. So they left out. They I love this. So there were 4 news agencies that were rotated out of the Pentagon, and there were 4 that were brought in. Do you all know which one Colbert left out? Does anybody know this?
Was it CBS?
Nope, not CBS. Huffington Post. Like as far to the left.
Really?
So they only have said the 3 and then the 3 replacements to make it look as bad as possible. Oh, this is so fun. Oh, you late nights. You must love that we're here to dissect what you do. Blocked federal agencies from honoring Black History Month, MLK Day, Juneteenth, Pride Month, and Holocaust Remembrance Day, sending boos. By the way, none of that happened either. That is a translation. That is what would you say? That is them taking the fact that they're not going to be allowed to fly a variety of flags anymore. Like it has to be just the American flag at the embassies. So they're blocking federal agencies from celebrating all these things. No, they're not. Black History Month is still going to be celebrated.
Yeah, and I think Trump actually did official executive orders on Black History Month, which I'm not sure that's been done in the past. Anyways, an actual observation here. By the way, that Juneteenth one, there was a movement to try to hijack Juneteenth because it takes place in June with the holy month of June there. I say that full of irony. The last time I went to a Juneteenth event, they tried to put all the gay stuff in it, which is like, why are you doing this to a holiday that is very much a black thing? Like, guys.
Well, I think there's been an ongoing effort to emasculate men of a particular race. Yeah. There's been a strong effort to do that. I don't know why it's being aimed in that particular direction. I dislike it greatly. I don't understand it. You don't see it. You don't see it being aimed at Asians, for example. Like that's not a thing. So I don't really understand it. But I'll hand it to the panel. Give me your thoughts on the idea that late night has turned to. Not only can they not stay fresh because they'd have to do it live, but also that they've turned into literally mischaracterizing executive orders while their audience boos and hisses. Like, this is kind of funny actually. Yeah, it's like driving ugly cars across the auction block so the audience can go, gross, nasty, I'd never buy that, and then call that entertainment.
Having been to the late night shows, not anytime recently, but definitely in the past, I'm sure they still work the same. And a lot of people may not understand this. They vet you when you come into the audience to make sure what side you're on. They ask you questions. They want to make sure that they're getting the audience they want. Then there's a warm-up guy. Okay, the warm-up guy is somebody you'll never see on television. It is a comedian who basically instructs the audience. He, does a little warm up with the audience, does the back and forth so the audience knows exactly how to react, when to react, lets them know, actual points out where the signs are so that you can see boo, laugh, clap, and you're looking up as an audience member and you're seeing these neon signs come up. Then all of that is instructed. You kind of have to go along with it. If you're in the audience, you will get kicked out if you don't, and they are taped even though they're live. So for example, when I went to the Tonight Show, it taped at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon before going live at 10 at night or 10:30 at night. So
now, hold on a second, Ron. Hold on a second. I got to interrupt here, and I know I take some heat for interrupting, but what you said, I gotta hang on to that for a second. You're saying that if you don't participate in the way that the audience is supposed to react prior to the taping, they're going to figure out you're not the kind of person they want in the audience. They're going to remove you. Is that
They'll
right?
have security come and remove you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then in that case, Ron, what you're saying is probably if you're not willing to sit there and boo the executive orders as they're mischaracterized by the supposed comic on CBS. If you're not willing to boo that, then boo to you. You can get out. That's how it works.
Pretty much. I mean, when there was not that much controversy on the shows that I went to go see, but they do let you know ahead of time how to behave, and if you misbehave, they will, they will escort you out via security. They'll have a security guard comes and come to help and escort you out. Now that didn't happen in any of the shows I went to because everybody was in line. But again, there could be plenty of people in the audience that are just like, okay, I'll just sit through this thing and I'll do what I'm told because I'm here. Because some people are just on vacation and they're like, hey, let's go see a live TV show. I'm telling you, some of these shows, they have to beg people to come and be on and be in the audience for. And I think the whole thing is really, really changing because people don't watch TV the same, and the people that even want to be in a live audience, I think that there are fewer. There's still plenty of them, but a much smaller percentage than before. Things are just changing so rapidly when it comes to media, and we're here proving it right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, could we send you with $10? Would $10 be enough for you to go to Kimmel or Colbert wearing that hat? Would you do that?
Sure. I probably won't get in the audience.
They won't let him in the building.
Lorena, hop in here. What did you have to say on this situation?
I was just saying that you have the old media and new media, and old media is very, very loath to change. New media is taking things over. And as a matter of fact, didn't Trump or the White House press office open up applications for bloggers to appear in the press pool? And they got like 7,000 applications. And did you see the hand wringing going on from so-called journalists poo-pooing this idea when they really don't get, and Trump actually gets, thanks to his son Barron Trump, that new media and vloggers, that's a vector you want to get into. It's just amazing to see just how slow and not self-aware Hollywood is right now. And the only defense that they have is to demonize us.
That's
good. No, you're right. That exactly, Lorena. Like, they can't move as fast as we can move. New media, again, we're dynamic. We can move faster. People are checking Twitter, X, whatever, YouTube constantly. It's right in front of them. It's on their phones. And new media is still, evolving constantly. We're finding new ways to reach audiences versus legacy media. They have to do everything through these networks that move slow. There's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape, like Ron just got through saying. You got to tape a show and you have an audience of people that you need to direct in a certain way. We're not worried about all of that. We're worried about getting the information out there. We're not trying to gaslight. We're not trying to fool you, pull the wool over your eyes, or do any of that nonsense. We're here to give you our honest, real opinions. And that's why this facet of media is, blowing up. It's starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger because sadly and unfortunately, legacy media, they care more about the narrative than about the truth. That's the problem. They care more about selling you, oh, everybody hates Trump. Listen to all the boos. You hear all the boos? Everybody hates Trump. Trump has never been more popular. So all of this just kind of doesn't feel right. Even if you're just some outsider, you really don't understand it. You're looking, it's like, well, everybody seems to be on board with this. He obviously got the popular vote. Why is everybody booing? Obviously not everybody likes him, but it doesn't feel authentic. It feels fake, phony. It feels manufactured. And that's the biggest problem with new media, legacy media. It's all manufactured versus new media. It's just about being real, about being a real person. And that's why, they're losing. That's all I got to say. That's why they're losing.
The format we're on also is it's inherently better. And the people here are working harder. Derek, you and Lorena and Ron, like if something happens, you all can immediately go live. You can immediately produce a video to cover it. You're up to date. You're right there as it's happening. Meanwhile, Jimmy Kimmel, he records these things at noon or 3 p.m. or whatever with, 6-8 hours in between the taping and the airing of it. They're not going to drag him back out there to do an update. He's too busy dining on his vegan foie gras. There's no way you're going to drag that man out of wherever he might be. Anyway.
And like you said, Pro, earlier, they're more concerned about things that really don't matter to most people. Like they're talking about, oh, my beer and my avocados are going to be high for the Super Bowl party. That's why I'm making all of these changes. Like Trump is more concerned about the fentanyl coming across the border, about the crime, about how Americans don't feel safe any longer. He's more concerned about that than the price of avocados. I'll gladly pay 25% more for avocados and 25% more for whatever it is to make sure that my country is a little bit safer. I would actually gladly pay that than having to deal with some of that crime. So yeah, they're out of touch. They're just completely out of touch.
Yeah, agreed. And I have to laugh because every time I see your avocados are going to go up by 25%, it's like, you do know the state of Florida does produce avocados.
Well,
and
the
strawberries and all eggs and all of that stuff.
Yeah, we have a huge country here. We basically have 50 countries conjoined together here. Well, I should say 48 if we're talking about the contiguous mainland here. But we've got room to grow within the United States. So like Canada and what they offer, okay, we're going to be just fine. The thing that when you're in business school, when they go over tariffs, they are very heavy to emphasize tariffs only hurt the host country. Well, that would mean they ignore an economic concept of all things equal. Yes, tariffs hurt the main country. But in an instance like this, all things are not equal. People that are incentivized to do business with you, they want to get rid of those tariffs as soon as possible. So Justin Trudeau, as he often does, makes himself look like a fool here by saying, well, we're going to respond on the $15 worth of products that Americans that we purchase from you, we're going to add a 25 cents on each one of those, and that'll show you. Like, I just, as far as personality goes, I get it that there are a lot of people that don't like Trump, and he can be very brash. But right now, we've had so much going wrong that a strong leader is better than a weak and very likable leader.
Agreed.
And I think Justin Trudeau is really providing an example of just how far likability gets you in leading an entire country and leading and protecting an entire country. Sorry, probably went a little too political there, but I just the idea that Jimmy Kimmel is going to bat for the Trudeaus of the world. Oh, please.
Hey, Jonas, could you check and see if avocados and avocado trees will grow in Greenland? Get our crackpot investigators on that, please.
Well, I'll throw one more at you. It reminds me of Bill de Blasio trying to sell vaccines by chomping down on a cheeseburger and fries in front of everybody. Oh, we're going to dangle a cerveza in front of your face here. We're going to dangle a Corona and an avocado in front of you and say, stupid people. That's what they think of you. I'm not saying you're stupid people. That's what they think of you. Your guacamole price is going to go up. Okay, fine.
And
right.
So like, I don't care.
Yeah.
They mischaracterize and they misunderstand. There's a reason why Trump got the popular vote. And these guys are still doubling down on the old nonsense. And that's the reason why they're continuing to lose. And that's fine. Keep talking about the stuff that people don't care about. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you guys, because guess what? We're going to continue to focus on, there are people in this country that do believe in what's important, and we'll continue to promote that. So if they want to do that, that's cool. You'll just continue to lose. You know, I have no problem with that, because people see right through them, man. They're phony as a $3 bill, and people are sick of it. So yeah, good for them.
That's right. Late night is on the ropes and new media is taking over. The dopes cannot work as hard as your favorite personalities on air, on YouTube, on X, on Rumble, and other places where new media can be found. You know, it's always sad when one of these video ends, and yet it is the beginning of the wait for the next one to land. 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. And by the way, there's plenty more on our partner channels. That Part Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place. And go check out the original music we have on stations like Vacation Radio. We'd love to have you, love to entertain you. At least we'll do a better job than some of the current entertainment companies. Folks, like, share, subscribe, and you know what? Drop a comment right on down below. Share this out anywhere you go on social media. And until the next time, we have the honor, the pleasure of getting to spend time with you when you choose to invite us into your day to add the value that we hope to bring your way. We ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.